Morning, boys and girls. Monday motivation time, weight loss motivation time. So, spring is in the air. Well, it's getting lighter anyway. Weather's sort of giving us a bit of a kickback for the remaining sort of weeks and days of sort of winter, as it were, before we hit the end of March, where sort of then it kicks back into sort of springtime, really, in summer, which is a time when people tend to feel better about themselves and hence tend to make better choices with diet or exercise. So what I want to talk about this morning is I've had a couple of chats recently around expectation levels on weight loss and things like that. Now, unfortunately, what's tending to happen is with the diet industry, and particularly now the sort of supplement and like detox cleanse type of industry. Let's just give it a bit of background here. What's happening here is that these sort of things, they meet a need. So, for example, if people want to lose weight fast, then the diet industry and this sort of supplement cleansing type of stuff is meeting a need. So when sort of fitness professionals slag it off, this is my opinion, and I've done it, and I'm not the biggest fan myself, but it's meeting a need. So what it's doing is people do want to lose weight fast. So if somebody comes in and goes, well, here you go, here's a product or a service to meet that need, then they're just meeting a need of the marketplace, which is how the system works. There's nothing wrong with that, as it were. The other side of the coin is that unfortunately what it's done though with the diet industry, and particularly now this supplement based cleansing type of stuff, is it's creating unrealistic expectations for people, which isn't their fault. So what's tending to happen is with the whole cult of celebrity, diet industry, so and so lost this much weight in this much time, it's kind of skewing the fact that everybody's different. So what tends to happen is that we all sort of base our weight loss goals on a generic approach. So we'll go, okay, well, my mate lost £10 in 6 weeks, so I can. Well, you can, but it depends on how it goes, you see, because there's a lot of variables. The problem with human beings is we're actually can be quite different in the way things happen for us. Like some people can store fat in different places, they can lose it in different places. Some people will lose inches rather than weight, some people weight rather than inches, some people it will stay on their hips and thighs for ladies and go off the stomach, and vice versa, and it will stay in their arms and whatever else. And what tends to happen is that it will come off if you're following the right protocols, because your body will start to work properly. But I think for me the focus has to be firstly on getting the body working properly, rather than trying to out exercise the problem, which is a big problem for people. Because if you're not an athlete, I mean, I'm dressed to go out for a run, if you're not an athlete, then your demand for energy, not calories, energy is different to other people. So, you know, it's like they give you this blanket approach for like sedentary people who sit in offices to do the same as someone who can run 10 miles, 12 miles, and it doesn't work that way. So what I would say is, particularly when you're looking at your specific needs, you've got to get a bigger span. So take your measurements, take your weight, and I would also recommend going to the doctors and getting some blood tests done on what's going on inside. Because remember, it's great to look good and feel good, but you could live a very long life with a bit of excess fat there and a bit of excess fat here. So it's adjusting your expectations to match the result that you're looking for, but it's also good to know exactly the whole picture. So you know that actually you could be making yourself quite healthy, but you maybe are holding a little bit of fat and you love handles like me or whatever it might be. So just remember, when you see fitness models, when you see these guys who are ripped to shreds, that's not reality, so that's not everybody. So if you, for example, I'm in the industry, the amount of people that I see day to day, fit people, healthy, perfectly healthy, like myself, who aren't perfect but are ripped, is probably about 1 in 10, and they're at a decent level of body fat, so they can see pretty much their abs. Now remember, these are people who do this for a living, so they can commit full time to health, you know, exercise, the right sort of things to do, the specific protocols to get really lean. For most people with kids, particularly women who've had children and so on, this can be a bit of a problem, because you don't know how your fat storage is going to go. You might not lose that extra bit of weight that you've put on, but you might make yourself healthy, and you might make yourself perfectly healthy, but you might not be a fitness model. Now you can do that, but obviously you've got to bear in mind that involves a lifestyle change at a level that most people with timings, with job, with families can't do. So The point here is, when you're going out to say, right, I want to lose weight, I want to do this, I want to do that, I would recommend, whatever you do, find a protocol that works, so find a system that works for you first. I'm not going to recommend anything in particular here. I've got my theories on this. I think most people, most sedentary, 2 to 3 hours a week exercise, I would class as sedentary, they're not athletes, can get away with a low sugar, low fat, no sugar, no flour diet 80% of the time. Starches depend on your activity levels. I wouldn't eat them and starches of rice and potatoes and oats and things like that. I wouldn't eat these things unless you absolutely have to, or your activity levels are quite high. I'm going for a run in a minute. I'm going for a 20-mile run. I need some carbohydrate in my system to fuel that. But if you're not doing that, I would obviously minimise your starch consumption of potatoes and things like that. And sort of a low sugar, low flour diet, really, and then moderate. Put it in the rest with meat. Vegetables, and then if you can, get your fats in, your avocados, your coconut oil, your oily fish, that sort of thing. So, but for most people that's fine, but it's making sure your food volume's kept there rather than trying to restrict it. And then, to be honest, you should be pretty much fine, but then that's important that you get those things like your blood test done to make sure that your blood lipid profile and your heart conditioning and that sort of stuff, the stuff that can really kill you early, is okay. Okay, it's not on the front of okay, it's not on the front of hello, it's not sexy, it's not, ripped up, but it means you're going to live a long and energetic life. So consider those points when you're doing that, in terms of making sure you do get that whole picture before you make any sort of rash decisions or before you give up. Because the key point to finish on here is this. If your expectations are too high, everything won't work. So you'll end up not doing anything and bouncing from thing to thing rather than getting a consistent system that can work for you. So look at your expectations first and what are they based on, rather than are they based on somebody who's, unrealistic or whatever. So stay tuned, you Birmingham guys, for my new weight loss group service. It's been a bit of a tough time at the moment, so I'm going to get this thing going. Basically, I'm going to be offering a weight loss group that works with my service, sort of a sit-in thing where people can come and get weighed and we'll have a chat about stuff. So yeah, that's coming soon in March. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for everyone's support recently in a tough time for myself, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Have a great week. Thank you.